Hi, and welcome to another episode of R&R. I am your humble host, DKS3A. And last week, we talked about the media blaming video games for all the tragedies that have been happening, from Columbine to Virginia Tech Massacre to the attacks at Newport and Newtown, Connecticut. Everything's been blamed on video games, when the media could be blaming other stuff like TVs, or movies, or music. Video games aren't the only source. In fact, video games a lot of times don't even have to do with it, because I play violent video games and, look at me, I'm fine. Anyway, this week's topic is going to tie in a little bit to last week's topic, but I'm going to talk about one specific person. And that person is, and this week's topic is Jack Thompson. Now, a lot of times when you hear these things about video games being blamed for all this stuff, one name usually stands out above the rest, and that is Jack Thompson. Jack Thompson's the one that was blaming Doom and all the violent video games when Columbine happened, and he was trying to shove it down our throat and the media's throats that video games are a travesty to the world and they need to be removed from the source of the earth, and video games shouldn't exist, and it was he was like really pounding it into our heads. Of course, nobody listened, because look, video games are still around like 14 years later, I think. Yeah, 98. 15 years. But anytime you hear something about violent video games and how and somebody being very anti-video game, usually Jack Thompson's name's the one that pulls up. And frankly, the dude's a fucking nutcase to begin with. I mean, like I said, he as soon as Columbine happened, he started blaming video games on everything. He was like, "Oh look, they made their own Doom games. That must have been the case. Doom levels. That must have been the case of why they went the way they went," without actually looking into like their past lives, their past history, and find out what was actually wrong with them and stuff like that. It was automatically video games, and then also too, there was another instance where Grand Theft Auto came out, and when Grand Theft Auto 3 or 4 was released, he was trying to do a cease and desist and like try to ban it from shelves because you could kill people and blow up cars and bang hookers, shit like that. But that's, I don't know, he's kind of a nut job anyway. I mean, hell, it got to the point where he got removed from his position in Florida for inappropriate conduct, because yeah, he was just taking this shit way too far. And one of his more recent doings was Mortal Kombat Armageddon. He sent a letter to Midway telling them to cease and desist making the game because they had to create a character mode on there, and he said that he could make a character in his likeness, and he didn't want to see him get somebody who looks like him and get his ass beat. Which, now that you mention it, I should do that one day, because the dude's just a fucking nut job. But Jack Thompson is like the world's number one douchebag when it comes to fucking video games. Anything and everything violent video games, especially like the Mortal Kombat, Grand Theft Auto. It's like the two big ones, but he's also done a couple others. So I want to say he did Call of Duty, stuff like that. Anything that involves like shooting or blowing up or something like that, he wants it removed off the market. And like I said, he doesn't stop there, because a lot of times he wants to remove all video games from market, because he said if we move, because he doesn't think just violent video games are the source of the material. He thinks that all video games rot people's minds, and he said that we shouldn't be sitting behind a TV screen or a video game screen for hours on end, which some people do. I mean, but if you really think about it too, video games actually help a lot of people. It gives you really good hand-eye coordination, reflexes, It helps sometimes even bond with your brothers and sisters and your family members because they're so busy with work. They would like to come home, play a video game with them at bonding time. And like I said, good hand-eye coordination. I mean, you have to have good hand-eye coordination. You have to you got to be judging, and you have to be very reflexive to figure out your next move and stuff like that. And he just doesn't fucking get that. He doesn't think that video games are the root of all fucking evil. He's such anti-video game that he just doesn't want them to exist, period. And that's a bunch of fucking horseshit. He doesn't realize that video games are a big part of our lives and a big part of our economy. If it wasn't for video games, a lot of people would definitely lose their sanity. I know I would. And I'm pretty sure Bear would too. But I'll explain to Bear later. But anyway, I don't know. He's just, like I said, he's just kind of a total nut job who's been trying to shove everything down our throats. And I just got 4 words to say to you. Fuck you, Jack Thompson. Just fuck you. Fuck you in your motherfucking ass. Yeah. So, yeah. But you've been trying for 15 years. You haven't gotten rid of video games. You ain't going to get rid of them. So you might as well fucking stop trying. So, fuck you. Alright. Last week I talked about, I asked you, what was better, Mortal Kombat or Street Fighter? Now for me, I have more memories and I had more of a time with Mortal Kombat. I remember going into the video game arcade that we had in the mall right up the road, and they always had Mortal Kombat, Mortal Kombat 3, Mortal Kombat 4. I always remember used to play Mortal Kombat. I mean, I played some Street Fighter, but always a Mortal Kombat guy. I've always have been a Mortal Kombat guy. Always will be a Mortal Kombat guy. So Mortal Kombat will get my pick. I don't know what it is. It's not because of blood and gore. It's just I like the fighting system better. I like Scorpion. I like Sub-Zero. I mean, don't get me wrong. I like me some Street Fighter, but I don't know. I just have more memories with Mortal Kombat. And based on the things, it's pretty much split down the middle. And which I kind of figured it would be. Some people like Mortal Kombat, some people like Street Fighter, and even one person mentioned Tekken, which wasn't part of the list. But Tekken is a good series too. I should have added that one. But this week, and before I do that, the Bear, sentimental value, last thing my grandma gave to me before she died, so I always have it with me. So, anyway, this week, I'm going to do one that's not video game related, but a lot of people have a debate with it, and that is, which one's better, Coca-Cola or Pepsi? Leave your comments down below. And this has been another episode of R&R. I am your host, DKS3A, and I will see you next week. Have a good day.